It was hot on the field. I want you to know that. It was hot. We're a little soft. We're not used to that around here. Now, it was like that all week, though, but maybe it did us some good for next week's game. We got used to playing in the heat, and so maybe it did us some good for next week's game. I'll answer any questions you have. Or do you want me to go into a speech and tell you everything? Then you don't have to ask questions.
What did you think of the defense?
I thought the defense played really good for 3 quarters until we put the third string in. But we're so young. This is the youngest defense we've had since I've been here, by far. Because if you take the starters out of there, you see what you get. Now we have a couple veterans that back up that we would move around if we had to. If we lost one to an injury or something, we would move them around to positions to try to keep veterans in there. But if we lose a couple of those veteran guys, the guys you saw play in the fourth quarter, those are the guys playing. That's hard on my mentality to keep them in there, but I mean, when you know the game is won, you've got to keep them in there. You have to develop them. I mean, for the future of the program, you have to develop them, and maybe for the future down the road here, as the season goes along, if 1 or 2 of the starters get hurt. I had no idea they'd play that bad. They were horrible.
Talk about the play of Rashad Penny and Washington, both a good effort on the offensive side for you guys.
Yeah, I was happy for the offensive line. We know those 2 guys can run with the ball. But they don't get to run with the ball unless the big boys up front do a pretty good job. And I thought the offensive line got better as the game went along. And I'm sure when they saw a substitute in all the other positions, they thought we should substitute for them too because they'd done such a good job. We don't run the program like that. The offensive linemen needed as many reps as they can get because guess what? They're going to have to block people better than they blocked tonight. So we kept them in there. Plus, it's good for those big guys to maybe sweat a little bit and lose a couple extra pounds,
Is the passing game starting to show what you're hoping for this year?
Well, it was pretty good tonight. The passing game is going to be better because we have a veteran quarterback and we have more skill at wide receiver if the running game goes. We're not a drop-back team. We're not a shotgun team, so to speak, or a 3 or 4 wide receiver team, so to speak. But as long as we can efficiently run the ball, we're going to have some receivers that are open. And I thought Chapman did a nice job throwing the ball to them. They made a couple really nice catches, and then they can do something with it after they catch it too. But our passing game is still going to depend on us being able to run the football. If you run the football, we got good enough skill out there now that most teams are going to be hurting.
Waring's a pretty nice threat, isn't it?
Yeah, he's made as much improvement as anybody ever that I've been around. He played 1 year of high school football. He was a water polo player. And then he walked on. Now he's on scholarship. And thank goodness he made us look good for giving him a scholarship. But he is such a novice to the game. It's unbelievable how you have to coach him, because he doesn't know some of the basic fundamentals of playing football because he didn't play as a little kid, and he didn't play in junior high, and he didn't play in high school. But what you saw is a guy that wants to be good, that's a really good athlete. So obviously he, through his hard work and his athletic ability, he's become a pretty good player. He's going to be a great player now. He's got a couple more years. He's going to be a great player. But he's still making a lot of mistakes, I promise you. That's as good an athletic move as any tight end in the country, probably. I mean, the guy had pretty good coverage. The ball was thrown up, and he's 6'5" or 6'6". He turned while he's running and caught the ball in his hands, both hands. Didn't seem like he bobbled it at all when he hit the ground. I mean, that's really good athletic ability. So as long as he'll line up right and block the right guy and run the right route, he's going to play more.
During that first, defensive drive for you guys, when they completed the deep pass, that's kind of the exact thing you were kind of afraid of. And then for Tariq Thompson to respond with that interception, what was going on right there?
Well, obviously they have one really good receiver. And we can talk about next week, they got 2 really good receivers. But they have one really good receiver. I mean, he's a class guy. He could play for us. He could start for us. He could start for any team we're going to play. And they threw it up deep to him, and he out-jumped Ron Smith for the ball. Well, the life of a cornerback, that's the way it works. Sometimes you make the play, sometimes those good receivers out-jump you for the ball. Okay, so that's not a good way to start the game, but you notice they didn't score a touchdown. So I thought it was really good for the mentality of the defense to have to bow up right there and keep them out of the end zone. When the first play of the game is a, 40-something, 40-yard pass completion or something. That's a bad way to start, but they didn't get in the end zone, so that showed something about it. I thought the defense played really well for 3 quarters until we put those other guys in. And then, oh, my God, I wanted to take them out so bad.
Rocky, the I think we talked about turnovers these last 2 years. You never know when that train's just going to kind of stop because of luck or whatever. But you know, three turnovers again tonight, 2 interceptions. Does it show that this team has some kind of mentality as far as kind of hockey?
Well, I think it's passed down. I think some of it, you know, you got to give the coaches credit. Some of it is how we practice. To be honest with you, we practice different than most people. And I think it's passed down from guy to guy. I mean, it's expected. The older guys expect the younger guys to do that kind of stuff. And it kind of keeps itself going, the mentality. I was a little disappointed. I thought the offense laid the ball on the ground too much. I mean, I can remember a fumble that rolled out of bounds. I thought we weren't as secure with the football on offense as we need to be. Now the pass, I mean, that we did that on purpose because at that time we were practicing. We were trying to practice our Hail Mary pass, and it turned out to be an interception. So that's on me because we were practicing. Then I thought, oh, my God, they're going to run it back for a touchdown. And then he fumbled, and I go, pick it up and run it in. No, we fall on it. So there's a lot of good learning out of that one little clip of tape.
So how do you practice differently the results in
if you watch most people practice, when they do pass skelly and those kind of things, they play touch football. Receivers don't really get touched. They just kind of get bumped into. We actually wrap them up and try to rip the ball out of their hands and all that stuff. That is hopefully to maintain, develop a mentality on defense that we're going after the ball all the time. And on offense, it's so that they hold on to the ball when people are ripping at it. So a lot of people that do the 7-on-7 drill, it's touch football. They don't touch each other. They don't run into each other. And so we do take a little bit of a chance of injuries sometimes because when we're doing 7-on-7, guys actually fall on the ground and stuff. I mean, you're not supposed to do that in practice anymore. It's probably against one of the new rules. Cannot fall down.
A whole bunch of your previous players they made rosters today. How do you feel about guys like Munson? I mean, obviously Pumphrey, being able to advance to the next level.
Well, I think Pumphrey making a team is great. I think everybody questioned his size, so him to go prove them wrong, that's fun for all of us, and we're proud of him, and we're glad that he did it. When a guy like Alex Barrett, did he make it? I heard that Alex Barrett made it. I heard that Daniel Brunskill made it. I heard that Munson made it. Those are 3 non-drafted guys. So that means they got something special in them. I don't think they got it from us. I think they had it when they got it here from their parents and however they grew up. But we take pride as a program that we had something to do with developing them to the level that they can make an NFL football team. So for a coach, that's a proud moment when Daniel Brunskill was a walk-on too, by the way. He was a walk-on. Munson had 1 scholarship offer. I think Alex Barrett had 1 scholarship offer. So the coaching staff did a nice job of evaluating players. Those kids had a burning desire inside of them, and the coaches did a nice job of developing that burning desire. So that's a proud, proud moment for our program.
Go make it as an offensive lineman?
I think he made it as, you're asking, I don't even keep track of that stuff. I was just told he made it. I think he made it as an offensive tackle. I think.
Good effort by Rashad Perry, 2 touchdowns today. What you seen his
What you always see with Rashad. I mean, if he can get in the open field, most people can't catch him. I just told him walking in here that I thought he looked pretty good at the end, but I thought he looked a little rusty at the beginning. It looked to me like he was playing thud instead of hitting the hole and breaking arm tackles. Now, he still got out in the open and they couldn't catch him. That was nice.
DJ said he was slow.
He did? He said he was slow. He looked slow out there? Well, I mean, he hadn't hardly practiced. His most practice he's done for 3 weeks was tonight.
I think he was putting it on you when he said that he hadn't been tackled in 8 months.
Oh, and that's my fault?
That's yours.
If he'd been tackled in the last few months and he got hurt, whose fault would that have been? That'd have been my fault, too.